One game that I've always loved ever since I was little is a game called Sonic Colors. This game had a level of fast-paced action platforming that has never been seen on the Wii. Not to mention now the graphics were actually some of the best on the console. It was safe to say that this game was a bit of a success. Fast forward to current day. Sonic Colors has recently gotten a new remaster after not being re-released for over 10 whole years. Unfortunately though, Sonic Colors Ultimate has received some very mixed reception because of the endless amount of bugs, glitches, and crashes. So the question that I'm going to answer today is if the game is still worth your money. Has this game been completely ruined by the overabundance of issues, or is there still a glimmer of a great game that was once released back in 2010? There's a lot to cover with this game, so I'm gonna need you guys to trust me and bear with me because this is not going to be easy. When the game was first announced back in May, the reactions within the community were very mixed. And I gotta say, if your community's first reaction to a game being announced is the great trenches of war, maybe something is a little wrong. Trust me, I know the Sonic community is known for debates. But this wasn't debating minor things like the color of Sonic's arms. This was debating serious issues that people had with the game. The main big issue being the visuals of the game. The aesthetic of the game has changed a ton. Things got a lot more bright while also getting a lot more darker at the same time. This caused quite the split in the Sonic community. You had the side that was excited for a Sonic Colors remaster, and then you had the side that thought they were butchering it. Me personally, I was on the side of being excited for Sonic Colors Remaster. I love Sonic Colors, and from the gameplay I had seen, I genuinely did believe that this remaster looked better than the original. But I also didn't like some parts of the visuals like Tropical Resort. I thought that place was a little too dark for its own good. Fast forward to before release. A bunch of reviews come out for this game and it's actually very positive. So positive that at the time of recording this, it's almost tied with the original Sonic Colors. Things were looking up for this game, but that was until everyone else started getting review codes. That's when the concerns started popping up. There was glitches left, right, and center. The game was looking very uncertain, but nothing could have prepared us for what was to come. When Sonic Colors Ultimate released, it was war. Sonic was trending on Twitter, and not for a good reason. This game was broken. Texture glitches, laggy menus, terrible audio mixing, whatever this is. It was safe to say that this was a pretty rough launch. But guys, I have to admit something. I found this game to be very awesome. This isn't a joke, I'm serious. I ran into 0 gameplay glitches and 0 crashes, and I played the game twice on 2 different platforms. I played on the Xbox One and PC. On both playthroughs, my game was moderately stable. I even recorded the entire PC playthrough as proof for it. For Xbox, I live streamed it and it was perfectly fine. I still had issues with the game like how the audio mixing was just terrible and how the menus were laggy, but that was it. So with that being said, I had a blast playing this game and I highly recommend that all of you- what the hell?
That is complete BS. I am your inner thoughts manifested by your terrible editing.
What are you talking about? I'm a god at editing. Oh. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's kinda hard to miss it.
Okay, I get it, but can you leave? You're kind of distracting.
You need to go hard on this game. It's unacceptable to release a product at this state.
This video is about my experience though, nobody else's.
Who cares about that? You are misleading people by saying this game is good. Do what's right.
You know, maybe you're right. Maybe I have been a bit misleading. Look, I may have had a great experience with the game, but that does not excuse any of the issues that this game has in the slightest. If you are choosing to buy this game right now, you are gambling with your 40 bucks. I'm saying it now, you are not guaranteed an excellent experience. I have heard horror stories from others about this game. There is no telling what might happen with your copy of the game. With that being said, I'm going into this review and I'm not going to show any mercy for this game. So sit back and relax because this one's going to be rough. Let's jump into it. Let's start with the story. To put it simply, it lacks something to be desired. It's still the same story from the original game on the Nintendo Wii. There has been no changes to the story, which means that the same issues are still present. To be fair, I didn't really expect them to fix the story in the remaster because, well, it's a remaster. But if we're looking at this from a full package standpoint, this game definitely suffers from the lack of story. To summarize the story, Sonic and Tails go to Eggman's newly built amusement park out of suspicion because, well, it's Eggman, he's doing something. They then come across a Wisp, which is an alien-like creature that lives on these planets. I'm just gonna let you know right now, I can't pronounce Wisp plural, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Tails, through a translator, finds out that Eggman has been capturing these aliens for his evil schemes. This sets forth the rest of the story. Sonic must visit all of the planets chained to the amusement park and free all of the aliens. Eggman's main motivation is capturing all of the aliens to use for a mind-controlling device so he can control the population of Sonic's world. However, at the end of the game when Sonic frees all of the aliens, Eggman attempts to go through his plan anyways, but it backfires. It backfires so badly that it created an entire black hole. Sonic then defeats Eggman and runs from the black hole. The black hole was too fast for Sonic, so the aliens had to come in and save him. The black hole is neutralized by the aliens, and now everything is happily ever after. Now, in retrospect, that is very basic, but it sounds really interesting. Sonic goes on a journey to save aliens and lead a revolution while running away from a black hole at top speed. Who can't find that awesome? Well, unfortunately, I don't find it awesome. The reason why is not because of the ideas of the story, but because of the dialogue. Look, you can have the best setup for a story ever, but if your dialogue can't take itself seriously, your story is going to have some issues. I do not know what happened here, but dang, the dialogue is terrible. The tone of the story went for a more family-friendly approach, which is okay. You can still tell some interesting stories within those boundaries. Except they wanted to be a little too family-friendly. Like, these cutscenes are insulting to 7-year-olds. Why, you may ask? Well, because they doubled down on comedy so hard. And here's the thing. If you're going to double down on comedy, you have to at least be decent at it. Unfortunately, that is not the case. In these scenes, you'll find the characters not taking anything seriously whatsoever. It is constantly a stand-up comedy. You can't go 3 seconds without Sonic telling a joke that completely falls flat on his face. These jokes are pretty much the same too. Basically, Sonic tells a joke, then the joke gets beaten into the ground. Yes, I know the humor is that they are self-aware, but that only makes things worse. Being self-aware about your bad jokes doesn't make it charming or funny, it just makes it repetitive and annoying. This tone is carried throughout the game, so we never really get any meaningful dialogue. It's just jokes. So you're not really gonna find a heavy-hitting story in this game. But that's not everything. In the remaster, they AI upscaled the cutscenes. They are pre-rendered, which means that they have the graphics of the original game in the remaster. This is very weird to see because you go from the graphics looking like this to this. This is really weird for the game because it feels like a part of the game was just completely neglected by this remaster. Now, normally I would be more mad at this, but I gotta be 100% honest with you, I skipped these cutscenes anyway. This story isn't good enough for me to want to re-experience it, so I have no reason to watch them. So really, I couldn't care about the cutscenes. However, I do feel bad for anyone who is experiencing this game for the first time, because this is kind of lame. You can still experience the story, it's just gonna be weird. So there's that, you still have a story. Okay, now we're here at the gameplay. It's no secret, this game is still Sonic Colors from beginning to end, and guess what? It's awesome. Like seriously, if your game functions well, you're going to have a blast playing this. So first, the basics. You play as Sonic and you have to get to the end of the stage in the fastest amount of time possible. At the end of the stage, you are rewarded with a rank, and I gotta say, this ranking system is awesome. In order to get a high rank, you need a high score. You can collect rings, use aliens, collect red star rings, kill enemies, and do cool tricks to increase your score. That's a lot of stuff that you can do for score, and I probably missed out on some things because that's how complex this game is on scoring. I gotta say, I love it. The game is easy, but the ranking is somewhat challenging, which is something that I highly recommended that Sonic Team does for future Sonic games. It has something for all players to enjoy, and I appreciate that. But the main thing that you're going to be focusing on to get high ranks is the aliens. So now I'm going to go through all of the aliens and their abilities. The first and most important Wisp is the Boost Wisp. This alien gives you the ability to boost. This is much different from what we're used to, because now your boost is rewarded to you, unlike Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations where you get boost by collecting rings. Now, normally I would see this as an issue, but for the scenario with Sonic Colors, the boost is brilliant. For one, unlike Generations and Unleashed, walking doesn't feel awkward. It actually feels almost as good as the boost. On top of that, the level design of Sonic Colors prioritizes platforming a lot more than reacting to obstacles, so the boost being a reward actually makes a ton of sense. But if you were very annoyed with how the boost was rewarded, they added a new homing attack in the game which gives you more boost if you time it correctly. I find this new addition to be very useful and actually really satisfying. Next is the Laser Wisp, which allows you to transform into a laser and dart across a map. This is used to access different pathways to get through the level faster or collect red rings. Drill Wisp allows you to drill into the ground and find red rings or other pathways. This one is the least interesting for me, probably because I suck at using it. Rocket Wisp allows you to launch into the air so you can glide down and find red rings and alternate pathways. Cube Wisp, when used, makes blue rings turn into blue blocks for you to stand on. You're on a time limit to stand on the blue blocks, and when you run out, you will fall. I find this to be one of the better ones, because Sonic Colors doubles down on platforming a lot in this game. The Cube Wisp is a way of finding how fast and well you can platform in a short amount of time. Hover Wisp gives you the ability to hover so you can get past a bunch of platforms and reach new heights to find red rings. You can also do a light speed dash on trails of rings. Spike Wisp lets you cling onto walls and go up them to find other pathways or red rings. You also have the spin dash. The Frenzy Wisp. It turns you into a scary looking monster that you can use to destroy everything in your path. Now we have the last Wisp, and this one is a new addition that comes with the remaster. This one is called the Jade Wisp, and it resembles a ghost. You can use the Jade Wisp to go through specific walls to find new pathways and red rings. I'll say that the Jade Wisp was a pretty cool addition to the game. And those were the aliens. Now, something you may have noticed is that they all directly influence the level design and the paths that you take. That is why I believe the aliens are the most misunderstood Sonic gimmick. They don't break the pace of the game, and in some ways, they actually make it faster. And I love that because this game just has so much replayability, it's actually insane. On top of that, all of these aliens require different skill sets that allow you to collect red rings. This actually ties back to the ranking system, which rewards you with S ranks when you have full mastery of the stage and the aliens that you are using. The aliens don't take away from Sonic's gameplay, it complements it. The boosting gameplay is already great on its own too. In fact, I think this gameplay style has a ton of potential. You see, Sonic Colors was restricted by the Nintendo Wii, so they used a lot more 2D sections than usual. But something I really like about Sonic Colors is how much they focus on platforming. I would like to see that, but in 3D with Sonic Colors controls. We did see glimmers of it and I really liked what I saw, but it could be expanded upon so much. Will it ever happen? Probably not. But hey, modders, I feel like fan-made levels for this game could get really interesting. I mean, who knows? Food for thought. So with that being said, the gameplay is a 10 out of 10 experience. Buy this game now.
What a load of crap.
Do you mind? I'm trying to review this game right now.
This game is complete dog shit and you know it. Quit defending this mess.
Fine. Here you go. While the original gameplay experience from Sonic Colors is still here, the remaster brought some new issues. These issues can be anything from you hallucinating diamonds to seizures on the Nintendo Switch version, which I'm not showing for obvious reasons. From my personal experience, I haven't run into many issues. All the glitches I have found have to do with the visuals, and I only see them if I look back at my footage. So if you plan on picking up this game, try getting it on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, because the Nintendo Switch version is looking quite rough. However, they do plan on patching the game on all platforms, but I don't know how much that will fix with this game. Also, the patch isn't out yet at the time of recording this, so when it is, I will leave a pinned comment with updated details. Oh, but the issues aren't only with the visuals and gameplay. There are some issues with the audio too. For some reason, somehow, they messed up the audio mixing. I do not understand how one messes up the audio mixing. Basically, in one ear you'll hear Sonic jumping, and then in the other ear you'll hear enemies getting destroyed. So when you're playing the game, the audio is going to be bouncing back and forth the entire time. Not only that, but the audio completely cuts out when you finish a stage or use an alien. I just don't understand how in 2021 that this can be an issue. I can't even think of a logical explanation from a development standpoint. I guess they tried to do some surround sound and it just sort of fell apart. That is my best hypothesis. It's so bad that if you wanted to go into settings to turn off the sound effects, you would have to turn down the music as well, because the two sounds are tied on the same setting. It is 2021. How do you mess this up? Bro, I wasn't even born when this industry started putting audio settings in their games. What is going on here? Oh, but we're still not over. This game's menus are terrible and extremely sluggish. Every time, and I mean every time I scroll through an option, my game lags. Mind you, I'm playing on the PC version, so this is completely unacceptable. But the lag doesn't end there. The frame rate within actually playing the game is also questionable. On Xbox, my frames are mostly 60 FPS, but they do tend to drop every once in a while. On PC, it's a lot more smooth, but I still get the frame drops from time to time. Now, it's not a big deal because I've enjoyed worse. I played Sonic Unleashed for crying out loud. It's just that when you have the issues of the frame rate on top of everything else wrong with this remaster, it makes everything feel very unpolished. When this game works correctly, it's better than the original in many ways, but when it doesn't, it's really bad. Which is very sad because I actually enjoyed the new graphics in a lot of areas. Places like Planet Wisp and Aquarium Park are a pure beauty. However, I can't guarantee you that you're going to have the same experience because this game is so inconsistent. I swear, I'm going around seeing everyone experience these game-breaking bugs and it's like we're playing a completely different video game. So I am convinced that every copy of Sonic Colors Ultimate is personalized. Okay, are we done complaining about what this remaster added? Oh, thank God. No, they butchered parts of the soundtrack. The Sonic Colors soundtrack was amazing. It was one of my favorites. It really gave me a good sense of atmosphere to the game. However, Sonic Colors Ultimate soundtrack isn't bad. It's just used wrong. For example, I love the Planet Wisp Act 1 remix. I think it sounds fantastic, but it completely ruins the whole atmosphere of the stage. In the original, it would start off peaceful. As you run through the peaceful setting of nature, you would then encounter more of Eggman's machinery. The music becomes more harsh. Now when you load up the stage, it's already hyped up. The entire build-up is gone now. They made this truly beautiful and cinematic stage feel like a shell of what it once was. And guess what? Maybe you want to toggle the original soundtrack. You can't do that either. So yeah, this remaster has done quite the number on Sonic Colors. But was it all bad? Well, like I said before, I'm a believer that this game looks better than the original Sonic Colors. Every area has been pretty much improved except for Tropical Resort. That place is ruined. Completely dark. I don't know why they did that. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop complaining and actually compliment the remaster. Okay, I got one. The customization is awesome. I love how they look and blend with the levels that Sonic's in. Sure, it may just be texture swaps, but I feel like this is a step in the right direction. Because Sonic can change a lot from just these auras and boosts alone. My personal favorites being the Sonic movie aura, the dark aura, and the fire aura. Alongside with the dark boost, Fire Boost, and the Ice Boost. These all look pretty dang dope on Sonic, I have to admit. I love cosmetics, especially for Sonic, so hopefully in future games they go a bit more in depth with them. Also, the homing attack is really cool and overall makes the controls feel a lot more responsive than the emulated version. Then there's also Rival Rush mode. It's actually really good. And it's also not a pushover either, like these kinda get challenging at parts. And you see, this is some of the things that makes me appreciate this remaster. Oh yeah, I forgot, there's also the tail save that only worked half of the time. Now normally I would critique this because it's a broken feature, but at the same time, I hated this feature since the beginning anyways. The tail save is meant to prevent you from failing a jump in a platformer, which is dumb. I feel like it contradicts the entire purpose of playing a platformer, so I'm actually going to support this broken mechanic. So yeah, there's one positive to this game being a broken mess. And with me covering everything here, I think it's time for me to get into the final verdict. It's going to take a moment.
You seem to be having troubles.
That's because I am. I don't know how to give this game a good final verdict.
Just call the game shit so we can move on to the Lost World review.
But I can't do that. I had a fantastic time with this game.
This game is bad. You already made one video misleading everyone. Don't make another.
Huh. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should tackle this game with a bit more understanding. Sonic Colors was an awesome game release for the Nintendo Wii. There's no question as to why they chose this game, but if I'm being honest, I cannot say that this remaster did the game justice. It just brought way too many new issues into the game that weren't there before. The saddest part about this is that there's glimpses of this remaster being the definitive version of Sonic Colors. Everything from the cosmetics to the new visuals. This is a remaster with high highs and low lows. If the game consistently functioned well, I would consider it the superior version of Sonic Colors. For me, the game functions just fine. I barely have any issues. I already have more fun with this version of the game than the original, but I can't promise that you'll have the same experience because of how inconsistent this game is. If you have not played Sonic Colors before, I recommend giving it a go through emulation first. But if you can't do that, go ahead and try this game out. You're not guaranteed a good experience. At the end of the day, buying this game is taking a gamble. You might have a great experience, or you might have the inferior version of Sonic Colors. But overall, remaster or not, this is one of the best Sonic games ever made and is something that anyone can enjoy. Thank you all for watching. Okay, can you get out of my house now? I don't want you here anymore.
What do you mean? I'm a part of you.
Well then go be a part of me somewhere else. Why do I have to deal with it?
We still have to review Sonic Lost World.
I just wanted to shout out my channel members. They are Snicks, Saint, Sonic Hub, Thomas Winride, Chip Chap Chop Scape, Virtuous Azon, Sonic Pip, Volition, Azure Sonic, Rubik Dash, JNXV, The Crash D00D, Shadow Poser, Squeaky Nerd, Super Shax Boom, Sonic Extreme, Super Saiyan Sonic, and Sonic Fan. Thank you all for supporting the channel. My voice is dying once again. Thank you all for supporting me. Wow. See you guys soon. Love you guys. Adios.